If you don't want to get spoiled from here on out, I would probably leave. I did not care for the final episode of The Amazing Digital Circus. Now wait! I think it's an incredibly solid episode all around, and a fantastic ending, truly. Like, if episode 8 is a 10 out of 10, episode 9 is a solid 8 out of 10. I think every character's arc ends exactly where it should have. But I'm just gonna be honest here, I can't go faking a video. Digital Circus is a show with a lot of things I love, but a majority of those things are mostly centralized within episode 8. Like, I thought the reveals in the episode were good. Everything with Jax in particular felt like the strongest plot points in the movie to me. In particular, Jax being trans felt like the biggest payoff for her character. Jax being this monster driven by self-hatred, who takes it out on everybody around her, literally bullying her own closest friend into, suicide. It's easily one of the most powerful plot lines in the entire show, and honestly, one I can relate to quite a bit. I've spent, as of now, a majority of my life as a closeted gay guy. It's a very, very real struggle that I'm sure several of you in the audience have dealt with before. That's right, audience member, I'm calling you out. I know what you are. And Kane's redemption in the show is good. I liked the way it was done. I thought it was a well-executed plotline. And that's all I have to say about the last episode. I'm gonna be honest, I've tried making this video in a dozen different ways, because I felt a very strange social pressure to talk about it. I don't know what came over me. Call it brief hysteria, I guess. But despite the fact that I do relate quite heavily to a lot of aspects of this show and a lot of characters in this show, that doesn't necessarily make it a show I really enjoy watching. You know what I mean? Relatability is cool and all, but it doesn't necessarily inspire me. And I reiterate for like the 1 billionth time, this is not a critique of the show in any meaningful way. And it's really quite funny, but I feel like if Jax's abstraction form was a little more interesting, I probably would have liked this episode significantly more. In fact, you know what? While we're just being honest with ourselves here, I do not care for the abstractions, and I never have. Now, wait. That's not to say conceptually I don't like them. In fact, I think they're actually an excellent idea. But design-wise, I don't know. For one, it really doesn't help that they all look identical to each other, which I find incredibly boring. Don't get me wrong, I understand the point of this thematically, but it still doesn't mean I like it. In fact, honestly, the show on multiple occasions sets up these very strange plot lines that feel like they're gonna amount to something pretty damn cool. Like in episode 7, Kinger has this line.
Scratch. The first abstraction.
Hey! I didn't say anything like that!
So, forgive me for assuming that this Scratch character was going to be a final antagonist of sorts. Scratch, the first abstraction, sounds like a awesome title for what would be the final boss of the show. In fact, just the abstractions in general felt like such a nothing plot point by the time the show was done. Like, sorry that I'm bored by the monster design that is revealed in full in the pilot and never changes. Listen, I'm a horror freak. This is what I focus on. This is what I care about. The episode that really sold me on the show in the first place is 8, because 8 felt like such a perfect payoff. Not only because there's a good monster design, don't worry, I'm not that shallow. It felt like the perfect culmination of this growing sense of unease from within the circus. It felt like the show was actively trying to distract the viewer from Kane's own growing mental break by introducing all these Easter eggs that set up plot lines like CNA and Bubble being more sentient than he seems, when in reality it was always about this AI slowly losing control over itself, and finally lashing out in the most violent way imaginable. It was a really, really interesting arc. Besides all the stuff with Jax, episode 9 felt more like an epilogue. I never felt any sense of tension or stakes, even during the peak of the episode when Pomni is running around inside Jax's brain. And no, this isn't my expectations getting in the way. I had zero expectations going into this movie. If anything, I actually expected that I was gonna dislike it more. I cannot overemphasize how much I did not want to go to the theater and watch this movie, for a variety of reasons. And while yes, the episode was far more entertaining than I thought it would be, I still really didn't care for it. Everything that made the show interesting to me went out in episode 8. So again, I will reiterate, one last time. This is not a critique against the show. This is not me suggesting it should have been rewritten. This is just me stating I found it boring. Which is why I think making this video has felt like pulling teeth for me for so long. I think in general, Abstraction has just so much missed potential. I find it so boring that we only see the perspective of Jax. The most common critique I've seen for the episode is that it could have been split into two, and I completely agree. Everything with Kane and the Void and the actual finale should have been a 10th episode. 9 should have been just a straight hour at least of seeing everything with the abstracted characters. Like, maybe the A plot is everything with Jax and Pomni. And then, for the B plot, Scratch emerges from the cellar, now being far more distorted than the average abstraction monster because he's literally the first one. He's been down there the longest. Then, perhaps we could see into his own fragmented mind. Maybe Kinger goes in there or something to calm down his old friend. Forgive me for being far more interested in the character who has been given ominous foreshadowing since episode 7. I want to know what he experienced in the first generation of the Circus. How messy and incomplete were Kane's first adventures? Did Kane even do adventures initially, or did he do something else? What was the first abstraction even like? How did the other humans react? How did Kane react? It feels like all of the most interesting questions in the series, to me, got sidelined. At the end of it all, this show just wasn't for me. But, you know what I do care for? Very strange fan content. So, Jack's Requiem by Milky Melodies is easily the best Digital Circus fan song because it's so absurdly funny.
Are you crazy? Huh, of course you're crazy!
For some reason, the person they got to voice Jax sounds like he's been smoking for 40 years.
But all that remains is this destroyed domain!
Dude, so many of these lines live in my head rent-free. For some reason, the intro of the song always gives me a stroke. Like, my eyes go in 2 different directions every single time I hear it.
Not enthused, feel real confused? Oh, what a goddamn shame!
What a goddamn shame! It's something about the strange, I mean, just borderline incomprehensible line delivery paired with the mid-eye-ass track in the background. It's f***ing legitimately brain-melting. Oh, and then there's this fan song where Kaufmo just does this.
What have you done now? Great job, Jax. Way to break her down.
Oh my god, don't even get me started on fan theories. There are so many gold ones in here. Such as the fan theory that Jax is actually a direct parallel to the character of Nimdok, who is a character in I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. But a funny detail about Nimdok, he's kind of, well, he's a And I have seen multiple fan theories that Jax, well, Jax is also a not. Which, let me just say, would be such a jarring direction for the show to go. Like, could you imagine if Jax cornered Pomni in a room and started explaining FBI crime statistics to her? Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about that now, kind of in character. Like, yeah, man, sure. I wonder when the man in the yellow coat is gonna show up in Digital Circus. Oh, the more I think about it, Digital Circus just solidified my growing desire for a proper film adaptation of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Oh, I miss you, Am. I miss you. Maybe it's just because I'm a crazy person. I read books backwards. I'm crazy because I deliberately waited to play Among Us until 2025 when it was no longer culturally relevant. I'm crazy because I spent $400 on Fortnite skins, but only played the game for an hour. I'm crazy because, well, I'm crazy, okay? Actually, I just really like Evil AI. That's true. That's true and that's real and I'm not joking. I have such a soft spot for sinister evil AI in literally anything. You can sell me on basically any story if it has a self-aware, malevolent AI presence in it. The more godlike it is, the more I'm gonna enjoy it. Like, literally everything in the Terminator, I don't give a f***. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about anything. All I care about is Skynet as a creature, you could call it, maybe? Like, there's this one arcade game that came out for the term. I think it was arcade anyway, I never played the damn thing. But I remember the final boss and the final reveal at the end of the game is that Skynet's core body, like it's you know, its central processing unit or whatever, is a giant satellite orbiting Earth, and I always thought that was like the coolest fucking thing ever in all of time. That is like such an awesome concept, to the extent that I have written multiple long-form stories about a malevolent AI satellite orbiting Earth. What I'm trying to say, if Digital Circus's final reveal is that Abel was an evil AI that was stored inside a giant satellite orbiting the Digital Circus the entire time, it would have been a 10 out of 10, that's all I'm saying. Okay, actually, I have one final complaint against the show. Count it, one. Actually, most of the voice acting was very hokey most of the time. I only really appreciated it with Kane and Jax, because both of them are playing up characters, so their dialogue in particular feeling scripted and hammy doesn't really bother me at all. Especially where episode 9 does a good job of having them drop that facade. Both Jax and Kane's voice act was spectacular. It was really good, especially the bit where Jax is coming out to Ribbit, and the bit at the end where Kane rejoins the circus. Both of them completely drop the cartoony cadence and sound like completely normal people, and it felt super earned. It felt like a great payoff to their character arcs. But there's one voice in particular that I could not stand the entire show, and it's Gangle. Which, by the way, sucks hard because Gangle is the character I related to the most. My biggest dream has been to make my own independent comics, but even to this day, I struggle to get the self-confidence in order to make that happen. That bit where Gangle talks about having to go into a retail job because, essentially, she was too scared to pursue her own dreams, f***ing ravages me, because that's the exact same thing that happened to me! So it really sucks to say that I despise hearing her talk. The voice feels so forced and so hammy, it's unbelievable. Especially considering Gangle's VA has a really nice normal speaking voice that I honestly feel would have fit the character a lot more. And again, I'm not missing the point. I understand the whole idea is that she's supposed to be like a stereotypical anime character, or at least that's how she acts. So the voice is also there to reflect that personality trait. But again, I can get the point without liking it. I think it's actually the most notable in this scene where everybody's confronting Kane for his actions. Like, all these characters are listing their serious grievances to Kane, and then a real-life actual baby shows up and starts just crying. And I know this is probably just a me thing. I've always been very sensitive to high-pitched voices. I can't stand it. I hate it. The reason why I don't like Gangle's voice is the exact same reason why I don't like 99% of VTuber voices. Except for, like, maybe Frost VT, because she sounds like an actual human being.
The urge to hold it while it's this hot. Okay, but hear me out. What if... It's fine, just grab it. No. Listen, last time I grabbed something, it said, it's hot, and I fell and I almost fucking perished. Oh. Right.
Honestly, that's all I have to say about the show. I really wish that this series left me feeling more, but I feel like everything I found compelling just kinda had a dead stop after episode 8. So yeah, sorry again for this video taking so long to get out. I initially just stopped doing it altogether, and then I started doing something else, and that other thing kind of became another thing, so I decided it's been too long since I last uploaded, so I might as well just do this one, because it's already like halfway done. And I don't know, it's been a really weird month for me, so I'm sorry for being all over the place. I'm honestly just kinda happy to never have to talk about, or honestly preferably think about this show again. Not gonna lie, the process of making this video really did burn me out on it. But don't worry, the next video will be one I'm honestly far more excited to be making, and I feel like you guys are gonna like a lot more. This is a video that you guys have made it incredibly clear you really want to see, and I really want to make it, so I'm very excited to be making it for you. No spoilers yet, you're gonna have to guess on your own. But I have a pretty good feeling that once I start sharing whips of the thumbnail, you're probably gonna pick up on what it is pretty damn fast. Thanks as always to my members, not just for sticking around, but for being patient with me during times like this. It really, really, really does mean a lot. Truly, truly. It means more than I can say. On that note, by the way, members, be on the lookout. I have a bunch of surprises for you, so don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Until next time, bye-bye.
Where did these come from? I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh.
Okay, he's gone.
Oh! No way! No way! No way that just happened.
For real right now?
No.
Being so for real?
I watched that all happen in real time. I watched that all.
That's crazy.